This is Coffee with God, and I am Father Jose. Let us begin this day with the Word of God and a short reflection.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 14, verses 12 to 14. Passages taken from the Message version of the Bible. Then he turned to the host. The next time you put on a dinner, don't just invite your friends and family and rich neighbors, the kind of people who will return the favor. Invite some people who never get invited out, the misfits from the wrong side of the tracks. You will be and experience a blessing. They won't be able to return the favor, but the favor will be returned. Oh, how it will be returned at the resurrection of God's people. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 14, verses 12 to 14. Today's Gospel calls on us to examine the motives behind all our generosity. Much of life involves the expectation of repayment for the things we do. I will do this for you and you will do something for me. Some relationships are built on doing things for each other, which is not necessarily bad. The expectation of repayment can exist even though it may not be stated explicitly. However, Jesus challenges us to bless, benefit, and befriend those who cannot repay us for our interests, concerns, and kindness. Pope Francis clarifies, do not choose your friendships on the basis of convenience. Reasoning based on one's own advantage is selfishness, segregation, and self-interest, while Jesus' message is exactly the opposite. Jesus' teaching is clear. Keep away from doing things out of self-interest, but humbly regard others as more important than ourselves. The magnitude of the challenge of the gospel is enormous. Jesus wants his disciples to grow in the habit of doing good without expecting or wanting to be repaid, showing unity and abandoning rivalry or vainglory. Desiring rewards or recognition results in competition and rivalry always aims to destroy the other and raise oneself up. This attitude destroys communities and families. Think of the rivalry between siblings for the father's inheritance, for example. It is something we see every day. But Jesus calls his disciples to get rid of even the chances of any such competition and instead be considerate to the poor, the simple, and those who do not count, who can never reciprocate our acts of generosity. In today's Gospel, Jesus launches the fundamental message of his mission, to serve others out of love for God. Explaining the passage, Pope Francis said, Jesus gives voice to those who are voiceless and to each one of us. He appeals to us to open our hearts to the sufferings and anxieties of the poor, the hungry, the marginalized, the refugees, those who are defeated by life, those who are rejected by society and by the arrogance of the strong. When we read about wars in Ukraine and Russia, or of the atrocities against and the massacre of Christians in Nigeria, or about the famine in Somalia, we think, that's far away, poor people. Why can't they live in peace? But we fail to realize that the same war is waged in our homes, in our institutions, stemming from rivalry. That is where the battle begins. It is here where we must make peace, in our families, in our parishes, in our institutions, in the workplaces, always seeking unanimity and harmony and not one's selfish interests. Building peace with small gestures paves a path of harmony throughout the world.